Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self-realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Householders, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. In today's satsang, we will cover the samskaras or sacraments, the earliest samskaras and prenatal education. Samskaras literally mean impressions, but they also refer to special rituals or sacraments which create positive impressions or shubh samskaras in the mind. The ancient sages evolved a highly advanced technique of spiritualizing the life of a person through the performance of samskaras. These samskaras are purificatory rites. They spiritualize the special events of one's life from the time of conception to the time of one's death and the cremation of the body. In the life of a Hindu, there are 52 samskaras, of which 10 are most important. They are Garbhadhanam, Pumsavanam, Seminottanambyam, Jatakarma, Namakaranam, Annaprashnam, Chudakaranam, Upanayanam, Samavartanam, and Vivaha. In addition, some samskaras, such as worship of God, are performed daily and some are performed on special occasions. Shraddha, the special spiritual rite for the peace and the upliftment of the souls of the forefathers, is performed on special days. So, after completing Grihast Ashram, which we have already covered in the last few days, the householder stage, one performs a special samskara for entering Vanaprastha ashram, stage of austerity and reflection. After this stage, ideally, one performs a special spiritual rite to enter sannyasa, order of renunciation, and devotes the balance of his life to pursuing the path of enlightenment and sharing his knowledge with humanity. So let's cover these samskaras that I had named in Sanskrit, each one, so you have a better understanding of what they are. Garbhadhanam. As it has been pointed out before, according to Hindu thought, parents have the choice to draw to themselves children of their choice from the souls in the subtle plane waiting to be reborn. If parents have disciplined themselves with the idea of having a highly evolved soul in their family, they will be able to do so. Keeping this in view, husband and wife perform special prayers and chant certain mantras before their sexual union. Amidst the vibrations of the Vedic mantras, the child is conceived. If they strongly envision a saint in the family, the child will turn out to be a devotee of God. Such is the power of Sankalpa, or the thought force followed by the proper processes and rituals. If they envision a genius in science or arts, the child will grow up with that inclination, because it's all in the subtle plane already, and it is just drawing that particular energy that you are attracting. Second samskara is Pumsavanam. In the third month of pregnancy, it is believed that the physical and the vital health of the child are formed. A special ritual is performed and the Vedic mantras are chanted for the well being of the growing fetus. And the third one is Simantonaya Nayanam. In the seventh month of pregnancy, the mental and other higher sheaths of the child are in the making. At this time, mantras are recited for the protection of the child and the mother and for the upcoming preparedness for the delivery. So, then comes the Jatakarma Samskara. This samskara is performed immediately after the birth of the child. The father welcomes the newborn child with the chanting of mantras in praise for the health, long life, intelligence, and well being of the child. So, what is the real identity of your child? It is important to remember that the child is an embodied soul that has passed through many embodiments and belonged to many families in the past. Parents have drawn a spirit, a soul that has existed from beginningless time and will continue to do so for eternity, just like you. In fact, the soul in every individual is essentially the divine self. The mutual karmas of parents and the incarnating soul bring about the birth of a child. In the scheme of karmic fructification, father and mother both need to interact with the soul in the form of their child. The child, in turn, needs to receive bitter and sweet experiences as it grows under the care of its parents. From a broad point of view, the parents have to learn from their child as much as the child needs to learn from the parents. Education begins even prior to birth. According to the Sanatan Dharma thought, education begins even while the embryo is growing within the womb of the mother. That is the foresight the sages and saints had, because they had the knowledge of the subtle vibrations, the physical, astral, and causal bodies. They were very advanced in their thinking. If the mother's mind is influenced by higher ideals during that time, it will create deep impressions in the brain cells of the child. The following stories from the scripture will illustrate this point. And that is why it is encouraged for mothers when they get pregnant to stop drinking, to stop watching horror movies or criminal things, bad shows, to maintain a clean, healthy, pure life, because there's another life inside of you that you are bringing up. And also, if you read them powerful spiritual stories, that also goes in their subconscious, as we will see from these two examples. The story of Abhimanyu. A story is told about how Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna and Subhadra, acquired the technique of piercing Chakravyuh, the most difficult of army formations. When Abhimanyu was still in the womb, his mother was listening intently to Arjuna's words about the technique heroic warriors adopted to pierce special army formations. When Arjuna began to describe how the warrior should come out of the view or the army formation, his wife Subhadra fell asleep. Later, as a young warrior, Abhimanyu assisted his uncles in the famous war of the Mahabharata. On one occasion, he had to break the Chakravyuh formation, and he did so with great skill. But he was not confident about how to come out of it. He fought heroically, paving the way for the victory of the Pandavas, his uncles. However, he could not come out alive, and he was killed in that war. His death is attributed to the fact that his mother slept while the last stage of the technique was being described by the father, while Abhimanyu was yet in the womb. This story shows the importance of the thoughts that are entertained by the mother during her pregnancy and how they influence the mind of the child. The story of Prahlad. Another story. During Devasura Sangram, when gods and demons fought, Hiranyakashipu, the lord of demons, was away from his capital city, and in his absence, gods captured his wives and kept them in prison. One of those wives was pregnant with Prahlad at that time. When sage Narada visited that divine prison and extolled the glory of Lord Vishnu, Prahlad's mother listened to the inspiring words. As a result, when Prahlad was born, he showed devotional inclinations from the very start. It was, however, against the wishes of the demon king that his child should become a devotee of God, and he tried to destroy Prahlad by various methods. Prahlad survived all attempts upon his life because he was protected by Lord Vishnu. Eventually, Lord Vishnu destroyed Hiranyakashipu, and Prahlad became one of the greatest devotees of God. As these stories show, education begins very early through the influence of the mother. One's mother not only gives physical nutrition, but she also nourishes the subtle body of the child through her thoughts and her feelings. Naturally, if the mother has been well disciplined prior to bearing a child, she will spontaneously implant the best of impressions within her children. If she has not, the impressions gathered by the child's mind will depend upon the varying moods of the mother's mind. Every mood, feeling, thought, and experience of joy and sorrow will continue to impinge upon the mind of the child. So as you can see, it's a very important process that is currently not being used very well due to the material age, but those spiritual divine couples that do bring beautiful souls into this world, who turn out to be great, sometimes sages, but great human beings in all aspects. So this is Swami Nikhilananda. In tomorrow's satsang, we'll continue this discussion on samskaras of childhood and adolescence. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.